episode of That Money Lady with me, Audrey Heesch, your friendly money lady. And today, our society does not feel so friendly. And that's a struggle. I don't know, but for me and for the people that I speak with and talk to and engage with, and all of those things, it's been a really overwhelmingly challenging week. And I don't And for me personally, add in a death of a beloved family member, having a funeral that was absolutely not something that she deserved. And it was just a really challenging week for me personally. And then, of course, nationally, and the election results are just something that no part of me is surprised. No part of me is shocked or like my foundation isn't shook like it was in 2016. It wasn't, or when January 6th happened. That was like a foundational shake. This is just like, yep, we know what to expect. So we know it's going to be carnage and chaos and destruction of diminishing people's rights, all for money and profit. And for a select few people, we know this. He's said this openly, constantly. He's brought in people that say the same thing. Like, we know what to expect. And we know we can get through it. We just know that it causes a lot of unnecessary damage. And that's hard to conceptualize because people chose that. And it's really just challenging because of just the duality of our only having two systems or two parties, and how far right the Democratic Party has gone. There's no, like, I'm not being radical in that position or anything above, but or any wide range of opinions on that. It's just facts. Like, going on tour with Liz Cheney is not exactly and rabbit hole for another time. I'm just here to say that it is very challenging and eye opening. I don't know about for you, but for me, it was eye opening in a different way. No part of me, well, I don't want to say that. A large part of me was like, enough people will put human beings first over the lies, the straight lies, and the obvious, blatant carnage of other people, their neighbors, their friends, their colleagues, their even if they're in another state, they're still our fellow countrymen, and they're choosing the belief of financial gain over human decency. And this was like, I wrote this in a newsletter, like, this was a national litmus test on people over profits, and we failed, y'all. Like, we failed epically. And again, not surprised. I could see that all coming. It was just, it was obvious. And I don't want to say it's okay because it's not. It's just what we're living through. And one thing about, like, I am scrappy, y'all. I have been through some shit. So I'm not internalizing this in a sense of for sure doom and gloom. Like, I've seen and I've been in really dark places. And while this is a level of darkness or a shade of darkness, and it's going to, no matter what happens, what unfolds, it's going to be damaging and it's going to be destruction. we know this. And so, sorry, if you're watching me on YouTube, my landlord just texted me about evidently a raccoon. Which is funny, trash monsters. Raccoons are the trash monsters of the world. And I love raccoons. Don't get me wrong. I love raccoons. They're incredible and they're so cute. Um, just a funny thing that just happened. There's a lot that is going to unfold, and we're not going to be able to control most of it. And it's very, very, very clear that none of our politicians listen to the vast majority of people because they're choosing their donors over their civic duty. Also, abundantly clear. We also have legacy media who's also choosing the profits of profiting off of fear and having that sort of a different level of control. And it's this is our system, y'all. And it's not even just us. Like right now, the world is kind of coming to that far right ideology that's popping up, that authoritarian and that dictatorship that is like, I am here and I have the right to not care about you. And I don't stand for it. I don't. I am not I have a level of privilege. I am a white woman in America living in Portland, Oregon. Like, let's be real, y'all. It's it's just one of those. I have the capacity, I have the capability to say these things, to bring awareness, to talk about these things that I'm having these conversations over and over and over and over again. I am not afraid to have political conversations. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not saying that all the time I have the capacity if I'm going through something else and then somebody is just like, I'm like, so listen, I'm going to leave. That's human and that's okay. We all need to be more comfortable with A, bringing it up, B, talking about it, and C, being okay to hold boundaries and know what your boundaries are and your capacity is. And I just fully embraced that my capacity is way higher than the people that have been impacted, that will continue to be impacted. And I need to take that on. It is just a very real piece. And I'm not claiming I'm going to do it right. And I'm not claiming that I am always right or that I am perfect. I am human. I obviously grew up with white privilege. I grew up in Idaho, y'all. Like there's a level of just whole learning that needs to happen. And we need to hold space also more for somebody who is trying and doing it wrong. And those who are doing it wrong and okay with that. That is two different things. I watched actually, oh, I wish I could give her credit. I just scrolled and I saw her. I don't know who she was, a content creator on Instagram, and she's said something along the lines of, "Y'all white women, quit wearing the blue." Oh, it's funny, I'm wearing blue. I didn't mean to. Um, uh, Evidently, there's this trend where white women are wearing blue wristbands to show that they are safe. I've not heard this. That's not been something that I've been aware of, but they're like, stop it. Like, well, that's not what we're asking for. We can take care of ourselves. Like, I get the thought or the intention, but that's not actually doing anything. And that makes sense. Thanks for saying that because that's helpful. And I think that's the part of white privilege. We are so unaware of what isn't helpful because we're coming from a place of what we need. And that is the first step. Don't get me wrong. As anyone who, as an entrepreneur, you're in an entrepreneurial space, you, whether you have employees or clients, you start from a level of where they're at to then build up that next step to be like, okay, great, thank you. Now next. So it's a learning process, and you won't always get it right, and I'm not always going to get it right, and that's okay. As business owners, we have a beautiful ability and privilege of being able to have a voice that can go further. Our whole system is set up that way because our entire country is set up like a business. And so, or at least for the past couple decades, or mostly since Reagan. Anyway, side note on that. It's it's just I didn't have an intention for this episode. I'll be honest. It was just more being like, we need to talk about the things, and we need to talk about it in a respectful and helpful way. And the way we do that is communication. Because, like I just shared on that example, somebody could think they're doing the right thing and being like, this is going to be helpful. And it's not. Like, that's going to happen. And it's about how we respond to that and how we pick ourselves back up as not only the one doing it wrong, but also the one who is communicating with how and what and why they're doing it wrong. And I think that is a missing piece that many humans have, because it's uncomfortable and it's not fun, and it's challenging because you never know the reaction you're going to get. And sometimes it's not a safe reaction that comes at you when you just point out something as simple as, that's not okay. And we're about, and we factually know that Trump's rhetoric and all of his administration's rhetoric, both past and future of what he's planning, they incite dangerous reactions and things that leave you unsafe. And we saw huge spikes in hate crime during the Trump administration because it's emboldened when you amplify those characteristics and you celebrate those characteristics. That's what's going to come out. And so it's just this big mess of putting your best foot forward in a way that aligns with you and your morals. We really need to get back to our values and our morals and just human decency. And that's going to take some work. And it's not fun. It's not something that is easy to navigate, and no one's really taught us how in a lot of ways. I'm grateful that there are a lot of people out there that are trying to teach this in a lot of ways, and that's what it's going to take, is just people showing up and doing the work. And as entrepreneurs, it's our job to show up and do the work. And I'm so grateful for the outpour that I received from some of my newsletters. So when I sent out one after learning about Trump winning, and I genuinely was like, okay, there goes half my list, but like I gotta say the things. Like I just can't just sit here. Like it's not. We need to talk about this because shit's about to get real, y'all. Shit's about to get real. And so I just said what was on my heart and mind, and I was like, and it, I was blown away by the responses. Like people were responding to me and saying thank you, and I feel less alone, and it's so crazy what we're going through. And yes, absolutely, people for profit always. And it was so beautiful. And I'm so humbled and so grateful that those are the type of people that I have attracted. And I am I've attracted people who are caring about people and this planet and trying to put their best foot forward. And that's everything that I'm seeing in my clients too. And I think that's the beautiful part that we don't talk about, that entrepreneurs, even if they do it the wrong way, it's not because they want to, especially with their finances. They're not wanting to have mismanage their finances. They're not wanting to get in a bunch of debt that they can't handle because they don't understand debt management or just cash flow management or anything in between. They're just doing their best. And we've not educated enough to understand what that foundational level is and to know the difference between just getting taken advantage of and predatory loans. Like that's one thing I'm going to probably do. Well, if my husband agrees to it, is talk about our student loan situation and the absurdity of that. Which, if Trump attempts to gut the Department of Education, I don't want my or at least my husband's student loans anymore. Like, I think that's fair. Think that's more than fair. And the more we talk about it, if he agrees, you'll see why. Because it's absolutely like there are predatory pieces of our society that are 100% unacceptable. And people get into it because they just don't know. And we see people that file for bankruptcy because they don't have a choice. Like it's either medical debt or they did make a bad financial decision and they thought that that was the only way out. And it ruined, like, that's 7 to 10 years of not being able to find a place to live if you are renting. Like it is a a piece of our society that I am grateful it's there, but it's also damaging in a way that shouldn't be. Like your credit doesn't take into account your housing and your utilities that you pay diligently, but somehow your credit is what determines where you get a place to live. That is that is just wildly unjust and wildly unfair. And I don't know the answer. I don't, and I'm not going to claim to, but there are absolutely pieces that need to be evaluated and rethought of to be just better society and not just money grabbing. Like, we're about to see a lot of money grabs. And one thing I love money in a sense of I understand it. I understand the ebbs, the flows. I see it. I appreciate it. And money has this energy and it is its own thing. And the people that have tapped into that are generally doing it in very damaging, very gross ways. And we're about to see that be amplified, magnified, and pushed at us. And I don't I don't want that for you. I again I've cultivated beautiful community of heart-centered entrepreneurs who are putting their best foot forward in the way they know how. And I just I want to support you with everything in me and to give you that foundation without seeing we see enough bad actors. I'm here to amplify the good ones, the ones who are genuinely doing what they can every chance they get, whether they do it right or not. That's not for me to judge, y'all. Every single one of my clients will tell you, I'm not here to judge you. I will tell you what I see. If you choose something different, as long as you take full accountability for what that choice is, that's not for me. And unless you're actively taking from somebody else, like shutting down your business and not paying your employees. Yes, I will contact the Bureau of Labor. And I wrote a senator. Like I'm I'm not saying like go break laws and punish people, but if you're going to get into, let's say, debt, and I'm like, that's really not in your best interest, but you're like, I think this will work for me. As long as you're willing to take accountability for the payroll that's challenging every 2 weeks, like there you go. Like I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you with your finances in a way that I understand and empower you as a business owner to take your vision to where you need it to go. Everyone's vision is going to be different, and I'm not in your head to know what all the moving parts are. I don't know all of your your communication that you're having with maybe a vendor to expand to something else. Like I don't know that. I'm not in your head. I'm not here to judge you for the choices you do make because I might not fully understand the full picture. But I'm here to show you and share with you what I see, and so that you can start making those decisions rooted in reality. We need more people rooted in reality to then make the decisions. Because again, with the political spectrum, we have so many people who are thinking that Trump's choices and policies aren't impacting them because they're just not rooted in reality. We need people rooted in reality, y'all. And I don't, I'm not saying I have the magic answer to get people to be rooted in reality. What I do have is my voice and just sharing what I see is reality. And as long as you're okay with taking accountability for where you go, that's okay. Because you're not always going to make the best decisions in your business. You're going to make an investment you learned from. I don't believe there is investments that are bad because you always have a lesson to learn. I do genuinely believe that. And there are also people who take advantage of that and push you into things that aren't to your benefit. And so this is maybe that like I deal with money. Like I can't push you into something and I won't push you into something. I will sit here and be like, here are the things. This is what you said. This is what I see. This is what the numbers mean. This is where we're at. And then you get to make a choice. And as long as you own that choice, get it, y'all. Like we need more entrepreneurs who really genuinely care about bringing their gift to the world so that they can impact it in a positive way. We need that onslaught of love and compassion and empathy for people and planet. I am just again just so grateful for the responses I've gotten from some of my newsletters and those that are choosing to do it right, even though it's the harder way, even though that it we see every single example possible of it being done the wrong way and celebrated and and put on a pedestal because they're making money. And I can't do that. Like I don't want to do that. That's why I'm here to build a community to where you can get advice for free and it's sound advice so that you can then take your next step. I'm not at a place to be like I'm not like I said at the beginning of this at some point my landlord texted me like I am not well off in any capacity. I am right here with you, just one foot in front of the other, doing my client work. Like it, I'm not out there going on vacations 12 times a year. Like I'm not. I'm excited if I get to go on one a year. Like it's just one of those pieces. And which means that I do need to make money before I can have that free resource for you. That's business. That's just how it works. And as an ethical entrepreneur, which I like to think I am, I try very, very hard to be. Reconciling those two is challenging for me because it's like, no, I just want to help. All I just ask anyone for, I don't know, my entire life. If I could just go and help people every day and not have to worry about bills, like, just what do you need? I got you for today. Oh, you're down a worker? Well, let's jump in. Let me, oh, you need help figuring out the spreadsheet? Let's go. Like, if I could just help people all day long and like just be out there helping, I would be a happy person. I'm not what, like, I'm just a helper. I want you to succeed. And how I do that is with your finances and with your foundation. And I'm building my foundation so that I can provide everyone with a solid foundation, a solid resource for you to get your next step. And I, how do I say this? This is why, like, I'm sharing this because I need to push entrepreneur or ethical entrepreneurs. It's challenging to see all the really bad things in our society and still choose and trying to choose and change the system and doing something different and breaking the mold and being that trailblazer. And there's still the reality. And that's the bridge that I'm trying to, that's the gap I'm trying to bridge is be like, okay, yes, please do these really, really cool things that are breaking the mold, doing something different, contributing in a heart-centered people planet way. Fantastic. And you still got to pay your bills. Like, and that takes a foundation of understanding where you're at so that you can get where you want to go. And again, I was just sharing what the obstacles I'm overcoming because it is just the name of the game. Like, you need to be able to have something to be able to get there. And it's hard because we see all the really, really bad people in our society doing all the bad, wrong things. And we often see people that are genuine people and beautiful humans doing the wrong things. And I think we all need to have more grace for those genuine humans who make a mistake. Um, oh, I don't remember what it's called, but kind of like when oh, I feel like there's an actual name for this and I'm blanking on it, but you see a small business owner and they might raise their prices and or you have a weird encounter with them once and you're like, I am never going there ever again, and you write bad reviews and you get angry with them and you share all the negative things about that one place. And then there's conglomerates that are actively diminishing our planet and our people and price gouging and doing terrible things and busting unions and to that. Like, you won't go back to the small business who's trying to better their community, but you'll go back to the place that is diminishing your life essentially. And we just need to bridge that gap a little bit more. While it's okay that you, if you choose not to go to some place because they don't hold the values that you that align with you, that's okay. It's just we need to be more cognizant about what our values are and what their values are, and then come at it from there because maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they aren't making payroll because they're choosing to pay their employees a livable wage. And that means they're barely getting by because they're doing everything they can to support their employees. And maybe that looks like there's so many different things. I even had a beautiful soul reply to my first newsletter about the election and was like, I am afraid to hire because I can't pay them what I'm getting paid, and that doesn't seem fair. I hear these things over and over and over again, and I see them, and it's hard because if we just propped up the right people, if we put our money where it deserves to go in the heart-centered, beautiful people that are lifting everyone up and who are caring about more than just their personal financial gain, that's that's a beautiful place. Like, we need to do more of that. Can we do more of that? Because I don't know. This this one really got to me because she's a beautiful soul. She has her bees and she goes to schools with her bees and her honey and her candles, and I really love what she's doing because bees are essential and such beautiful creatures to our ecosystem, and they are diminishing rapidly because of climate change, and no one is really saying anything, and she's out there doing the work to build up the 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 foundation of what bees are and how to work with bees, and the beauty that they bring and the essentialness to our society. And I'm just so grateful for those heart-centered people that have found a way to my community, and know that I hear stories over and over and over again like this, and here and working with clients to figure out their finances to get where they want to go based on their dreams. And it's it's hard because as soon as you raise prices, people are sitting there being like, excuse you, you're part of the problem. Instead of doing that to the conglomerates that are profiting billions. Like, there's this huge disconnect of understanding basic financial flow and how basic business works. And I don't know how to reconcile that because I just, I don't know. I don't know the knowledge that I have that helps people bridge that gap. But if you have a different opinion, please do reach out because I am curious what this misalignment of understanding is, because I don't understand that piece for sure. I have yet to figure out that one. But I think I've rambled long enough. I just felt it was important to come out and say the things. I have been, again, blown away by the response, and I'm so appreciative. And just know that you're not alone. Everyone's kind of reeling and dealing in their own way with this news that is about to just ob- obliterate. Like, he wants to gut the Department of Education. Like, I can't even, what do you do with that? And it's not like he got EPA and the he just did so many terrible things. It's gonna be bad. A lot of people are going to be just, it's gonna be not good. So I'm here to empower and uplift and unite the beautiful heart-centered entrepreneurs who are just trying to put their one foot in front of the other, trying to do their best at every single turn, and know that you won't always get it right, and that's okay. It's just about learning from that and taking your best next step. And I've seen it in so many people do that shift when they're like, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, nope. Course correct. Like, that's what creates a beautiful, strong leader. And we need those beautiful, strong leaders who care about that. And so, yeah, that's think that's where I'll leave it. All of my ramblings. I don't even know how long I've rambled for. But I hope you got something from this. It was more just my battle cry to say it's okay. You got this. There are people out there. There's a lot of people out there that are care more about people and planet than themselves and personal gain. And we're seeing that split. And know that it's okay. And know that people matter, planet matters, you matter. And we're going to get through this one way or another. Probably going to be a shit show, almost guaranteed to be a shit show, but we will get through it. And I'm hoping, while I don't hold much faith, just know that I am hoping that some of our core actors in our world choose better. I'm not, yeah, another wrong home. But let's hope that we all choose better. We all just need to choose better. So, yes, if you resonated with any of the things I said, I have I have a wonderful course, Money in Motion, and it's there to really help you understand the foundation and build your systems, your financial systems, and understanding the pieces and the parts that will really empower you as that small business owner to take your next step and build a system that works for you and not a cookie cutter solution. I'm not a fan of cookie cutter solutions. I don't think they work more often than not saying they don't work at all, because there are beautiful humans that really take flight with established things. And I love that. I love that for you. And the financial piece, I've just seen time and time and time again it not work, and people coming to me trying to fix their debt and fixing their finances and their systems and their structures. It really needs to work with you, and you have to be fully on board and belief with what you're building. That's when you skyrocket, my friend. So, Money in Motion. If you want to check that out, it'll be in all of the places. And if you want to work one-on-one, if you want a profit partner, if you align with me, please do book a call. And I look forward to chatting with you. Hope you have a wonderful day, and give yourself the space and grace to handle what you need when you need in the amount of time you need. Please, because we need you to just be the beautiful person you are. And so feel your feels and get back up, because we have a fight. And we always knew that. We're the trailblazers. We're trying to do things different. We are out in the world being like, yeah, this system's broke. Like, I'm here to make it better. So we have a fight, and we're gonna create a beautiful path towards success. And we're doing it together. So I'm grateful you're here. Thank you for being here. And yeah, check out Money in Motion. And I look forward to seeing you. Thanks, guys.